Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95 the Savior, and I just wanted to give you some quick advice for those of you that are new to coming to Japan or wanting to come here next year. I've already made videos talking about this, but I just want to briefly say this. You do not need to overthink coming to Japan. So, for starts, you do not need to be fluent in Japanese. You don't need to know how to read, write, or anything, especially if you're coming to a major city like Tokyo or Osaka. There's English everywhere. Anything of importance is going to be offered in an English translation. They are used to dealing with tourists and foreigners, and generally speaking, most of the foreigners that you're going to see in Japan are going to be tourists. Thus, they don't know a lick of Japanese. They get around using only English. And I'm not talking about Americans, being ugly Americans or anything else. No. Most of the foreign people you're going to see in Japan are going to be Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and people from various European countries. And guess what? They're going to be speaking in English whenever they're dealing with Japanese people, because who's going to bother to learn one language that they're only going to use for a 1 week or 2 week vacation here? Exactly. Don't overcomplicate your life here. Don't worry about being fluent in Japanese before you arrive. Is it nice to be able to do that? Well, sure. But don't let that stop you from coming here. You're only going to get older. You're only going to waste more and more of your life and time. You can learn Japanese by living here. And to be honest, if you want to speak naturally, you're going to want to learn Japanese from actually living in Japan and not from reading a textbook or taking online lessons or going to whatever little community lessons that you have or taking it at university, etc. I did all of these things. I'm speaking from personal experience. The things that stuck with me are the situations that I had from real life. From actually going to immigration, from going to the convenience store, from going to the grocery store, from making a fool out of myself at restaurants for saying the wrong words at the wrong time. Okay, with that said, the same thing is going to happen for you. You're going to learn so much more by actually living in Japan as long as you make an effort and spend time going out by yourself and with Japanese people that cannot speak English, so that this way the conversation stays in Japanese and you don't end up spending more time speaking English or whatever other language that you can mutually speak together. So, aside from language, let's talk about money. A lot of you guys think you need to have all of this money to get to Japan. You're like, oh my god, I'm not rich, I don't have whatever, I can't survive there, what am I going to do, etc. Honestly, you only need to prove that you have $30,000 worth of assets and loans. You don't have to ever actually have that $30,000. You can literally have someone loan you $30,000 just to show that you have it, just to get your tail in here. Should you do that legally? Well, no. But hey, I'm not here to give you legal advice. I'm just telling you how it works. For me, I use a combination of student loans and credit and financial aid to satisfy that for my COE. Keep in mind that if you're coming here on a work visa, you don't need to prove 30K. This is only for students. So, if you are coming here for work, you really don't need to worry about money because you're going to make money shortly after you come here. You only need enough money to survive off of for about 1 to 2 months. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, that you don't need a ton of money, let's talk about what you actually need. If you want to come to Japan on a budget, even although I know for a lot of you, after watching my channel especially, you're like, oh my god, I don't want to do that, I don't want to be like you. Trust me, you should do it though. Put your pride aside. Stay at a share house. You're going to save a lot of money. It's only going to cost you about $1,000 to move in. And on top of that, you only have to pay for your flight. So in total, you're going to pay roughly about $2,000 to handle your first month. That $2,000 is going to handle paying for both your flight as well as your share house. All you need is a way to get to Japan, a place to stay at in Japan. You don't need to spend a ton of money on food. When you first get here, your goal is not to go out and eat at gourmet restaurants, spend every day eating ramen at izakayas, etc. It seems cheap, but when you don't have money and just started working, those type of meals and things are expensive to do. So eat budget-friendly, cheap food. Go to the grocery store. You're going to be eating sandwiches. You're going to be eating, cup noodle, whatever, for a good month or so. And that's fine. Because after you're done eating that curry, rice, pasta, etc., when you get paid, then you can go ahead and waste your money buying more expensive foods, etc. Do keep in mind that you also have the pro being a foreigner, especially if you're a girl. People are going to want to take you out and buy you food. So yeah, you're going to be going out on dates, you're going to be going to parties, etc. You can get food for free these ways too. And again, budget-friendly meals. Buy yourself some rice, buy yourself some pasta, buy yourself some curry, buy some bread and, peanut butter and jelly or whatever, some chicken, and you're good. That's all you need for the entire month. You can easily buy all your groceries for no more than about $200 and live off of that. I know firsthand because I was living off of only having about $200 a month and I made it work. So yeah, I would honestly say in total, you don't need more than $5,000 to comfortably come to Japan. And that's including paying for your airfare, including paying for your housing and your groceries and utility bills and your phone even. You can get all of that for $5,000 and still have money left over. It'll even cover your transportation. Your goal is not to have enough money to live off of for the entire first year or your whole life here. You only want enough money to pay for all of your necessities, and as soon as you do have that money together, you also need to have a backup plan. You don't just come here and, be like, oh, I have $5,000, I'm good to go, and just relax. No. You need to be on your grind if you are a student, and even if you're working, you need to be looking for other work. So, for example, even if your contract doesn't allow it, hey, I'm not here to give legal advice, I'm here to give you real advice. You need to be looking for private students, as well as finding like a Saturday job or whatever to give yourself extra income to get yourself started so you have some cushion and can be more comfortable with your life here in Japan. For students, you need to immediately be applying for permission to engage in other activities and looking for a part-time job or two. You can do things such as working at the convenience store, grocery store, do Uber Eats, etc. Anything that brings an extra income to help you, because you will eventually run out of money if you are a student. As for workers here, you're generally set, but do keep in mind that in Japan, you only get paid once a month. And depending on the company, you might have to go 2 months without salary, because some companies don't pay you your first month, they wait until the second month. It's a stupid security measure. It's supposed to stop people from quitting their job quickly. Oh my god, I can't talk. I assume, I suppose, whatever. But honestly, I feel like it does the opposite. It just makes me feel more bitter about working for you. But whatever, this is what they do. So with that said, you want to have enough money to live off of for a couple of months. Keep in mind, in Japan, you can still use your American credit card. You can still use your American debit card. People can still deposit money into your account, and you can withdraw your money in yen for a very small microscopic fee of only about, $1 to $3 or whatever, just like in the US. So it's not some outrageous fee. So, yeah. Don't overcomplicate things. You don't need to be fluent in Japanese. You don't need to have a ton of money, and you don't need to have everything figured out, because honestly, once you come here, you're going to change your mind about a lot of stuff. You might think you wanted to live downtown, and after you live, you're like, oh my god, this is awful, or it's too expensive, and you're going to leave. You might think you want to have your own place, and then you feel lonely. You're like, I'd rather be inside of a share house and get to know other people. Keep in mind that despite my videos, different share houses run completely different. You can have really friendly, nice roommates. You can have really nasty, dirty, annoying ones, etc. It's a trade-off. For me, I would still do it all over again to have stayed at soccer house, because being with those roommates, they make me feel comfortable. I'm someone that has social anxiety. I feel awkward and nervous easily, and I didn't have the courage to go and do things like, go to the ward office by myself to change my address, and I also didn't have, the courage or whatever to go and, try to sign up for phone service or to get myself an IC card to, get a train pass, etc. So even though I didn't get these things at the time I wanted to, because my visa situation was really messy at the time, I learned where these places were, so it really helped me out. I learned about convenience stores, not convenience stores, but I learned about what electronic stores to go to. I learned about what grocery stores to go to. All of these things were from roommates. I got recommendations from people that had been in Japan longer than myself, similar to how you're getting information from me, who has been in Japan longer than you probably have. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to say that you don't need to spend forever trying to be perfectly prepared for Japan, because the reality is you'll never be prepared. I see it this way. It's like getting married or having a baby. It's never a good time. You might think, oh, okay, I want to wait until I'm 30, or I want to wait until I'm 33 or 32, or I want to wait until I'm 25, or whatever the age is you have inside your mind, because you think you're going to be more financially stable, or you're going to have graduated, or you're going to have, you're going to be further down the line in your relationship, whatever the case is. Problems are still going to come to you. You're not going to be perfectly prepared. You're still not going to have enough money. You're still not going to have enough time. You're still not going to know everything. You're going to learn along the way. And the same thing goes for being here in Japan. You might think, oh, well, if I know Japanese, I'll be fine. All of these problems will be handled, etc. But knowing the language is not enough. You're still in a completely different country and culture. Having money is not enough. You're going to have a lot of fees and unexpected things that you're going to need to pay for. So, with that said, don't freak out, don't worry, stress too much about it. Everybody here has the same problems. We've all been in your situation before. We've all ran out of money. We've all been in a situation where we didn't know what to say, what to do, needed help, needed to ask for, help from foreigners, help from Japanese people, etc. Whatever the case happens to be. And that's okay. You're human. You're not supposed to be perfect, and your life here is not going to be perfect. Coming to Japan is not going to solve all of your problems magically. They will still exist. They will. And a lot of the things that you like, people don't really do anymore. For example, the old kawaii fashion, goth stuff, Lolita type stuff, that's not normal to see on a day-to-day basis. You still look like a freak and just as weird in Japan as you would in the US. Same thing goes for otaku, anime stuff, figurines. You have no space to store that stuff. Mental health is not taken seriously here. People don't want to be around you with that. Wake up, smell the coffee. It's okay to get some real information about Japan. But do also keep in mind that these things shouldn't stop you from coming here. Do what you want to. Come here and be happy. Only you can make yourself happy. Do what you want to do. If it's your goal and dream to come to Japan, come here. You can easily spend all day reading books, watching videos, and talking to people and talk yourself out of your dreams, talk yourself out of coming here. Or you can come here yourself, decide for yourself, do you want to live here or not? And you can even think to yourself, you know, is this just not a good place for me to be at this city or this school or this job? Or is this country just not for me? And I've made videos talking about this stuff before, but just keep in mind that you don't have to give up on Japan just because you don't like your school or you don't like your job. You can switch these things. You also don't have to get your degree here in Japan. I didn't. You can also go to school online. So don't feel like you're trapped or stuck here and you have no choice but to go, you know, stay in this bad situation or go home. You can literally watch my channel. Have you not seen all the crap that I've been through? So it's cool. It's life. Stuff happens. And that's fine. Because while you might not have a good experience in one city or one location, you can go somewhere completely different and have the time of your life and be like, oh my God, I'm actually happy. I'm at peace now. So I hope that everything works out for you. Please don't stress out about money. You don't need to be rich. You can literally work for Uber for 20 days or whatever and get the money that you need to come to Japan. You don't need that much money. All you need is enough money to pay for somewhere to stay at for a month and a ticket to get here. You can get discounted tickets for $450 to come here all the time. Don't overcomplicate your situation. I have a playlist on my channel about my 10-step process or whatever for coming to Japan on a budget. With that, again, like if you really want to do things the safe way, I would recommend having $10,000 to burn to use for these things. But if you really want to get here, you're in a rush and you're like, I really want to come to Japan, it's my dream, I'm older than I want it to be, I would do it in just a few thousand. As long as you can prove that you have those assets for students, you're set. As somebody that wants to work here in Japan, you don't even need that, because some places actually pay for your flight and they'll pay for your accommodation upon arrival, so you don't have to worry about those things. But being smart, you should always want to have your own money in case things don't work out for whatever reason. You want to definitely have enough money to make it back home and or to stay at a hotel if things don't go as you had planned. And of course, it's also good to make sure you have a good relationship with your family and or some friends back in your home country. So if you really find yourself in trouble, you have people that can help you out and give you, you know, the money that you need, cover you, whatever, to send you back home or to pay for a place for you to stay at temporarily until you get back on your feet. So that's it for this video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry about that. My voice is gone from talking so much. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry guys, I live downtown. I'm right over the expressway, so it gets noisy here between the ambulance and motorcycle speeding and the police. But I hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful, helpful. Please give me a like. Leave a comment down below if you have any more questions about living, or working, or studying in Japan. You want to know more information. You can also send me an email if you have any personal questions, etc. I also offer consultations, so if you have like more personal things you want information on, you can pay for that. I would also appreciate if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. You can also add me on Snapchat at Comic the Savior and follow me on TikTok at Comic the Savior. You can also like my Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior and read my blog at comic95.com. The links for everything are down in the description box. And I think I already mentioned this, but you can go to my YouTube channel homepage and you can check out my playlist there. I have playlists on pretty much every topic here, from dating, working, living in Japan. I probably already answered your question in a video there, so please be sure to search that, watch those playlists there for more information. And yeah, thank you, and I hope you'll watch another video. Bye.